What's up, gang? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a spotlight on the Veteran Abrams. Sitting on the ground here behind me, this is a big wheel.
How big?
With a big motor.
How big?
A big battery.
How big?
And until now, it's had some pretty big problems.
Can you fix it?
We've just installed the latest firmware and we've been told it addresses every single concern. So today we're going to go out, we're going to talk about the wheel, we're going to test it out, we're going to make sure those concerns have been addressed. One thing I should mention, we never got the very first batch and we've never experienced a single one of those cutout issues, whether it be free spinning or hard braking or going over bumps. But today we're going to test it out anyway. I'm going to show you how well this wheel performs, tell you who it's for, and definitely tell you who it's not for. So let's kick off the video and talk about the top level specs. It has a 3,500 watt motor. That's a big boy. It has a 2,800 watt hour battery. Comes in at around 38 kilos, so it's definitely not a small wheel, and we'll talk about that on the ride. It has a 2,700 lumen headlight, which is super bright, and it's a 22-inch, which delivers a really smooth, just really fun, carvy ride. This wheel quite easily climbs up to very high speeds, but it's still very flowy and very, very stable. Now it has a really nice pedal height, so you're up nice and high. You don't get speed wobbles on this wheel, I've noticed. So I've pushed it to about 60 and it just cruises. On some of the smaller diameter wheels, you start to get a bit of a wobble. Now that beep you can hear, I've got the speed limit set to 40 because this wheel is just too easy to speed on. Let's test out the braking and see if we experience any cutouts. That's 25 kilometers per hour, which is the speed they reported, and brake. Okay. Now I'm not gonna keep doing this over and over again, but you get the picture. Now, the battery is close to full, so I won't do it over and over again because that can cause trouble when you have a full battery. But they are very, very confident that their firmware upgrade has addressed that first issue. The second one, and is probably the one that troubles me a little bit more, and that's the bumps. So I've come to probably the worst footpath in Brisbane. And it's really, really rough. So we're going to ride along here and we'll test it out. I'll just play some music. Wish me luck, here we go. About the aesthetics of the wheel, because it's a really pretty or tough looking wheel. It's kind of both. It looks really nice whilst also still looking quite tough. Now that 22-inch tire certainly gives it a high stance and really makes it look like it's not made to be mucked around with. The included, big bump, the included spiked pedals make a really, really comfortable ride and do grip onto your shoes really, really well. Morning. The included pads do a good job. They're not amazing, but at least they're included and it's something to get you started. You'll probably upgrade the more you trust the wheel and learn to really push to its upper limits, shall we say. And probably the last thing, just to finish off the aesthetics, the look and feel of this wheel, is the trolley handle. It has a really nice one, and I keep forgetting it's even there because it's just so, I guess, hidden away. But when you need it and when you remember it's there, it's a really nice trolley handle. It's well balanced, it's in the center of the wheel. And if you get to the shops, you can easily walk through the shops with this. One thing I wish it did, I wish it locked at the halfway point, like the King songs do. This one, it's either up or down. It'd be really nice if it had a locking point there, but beggars can't be choosers. Up all the way, locks in place, and it's really nice and comfortable and well balanced to walk with. You wouldn't think you were wheeling a 38 kilo wheel. Okay, so who is this wheel for? Well, it's for someone who wants to cruise. It's a long range cruise wheel. This is something you get on and you can just ride all day. That ginormous battery is going to give you really long range. Equipped with that 3500 watt motor and that 22-inch rim, it's just going to ride really, really smoothly. It's not going to be super torquey. It's not going to be very forgiving off-road, on real off-road, like light trails with a bit of limestone, packed dirt. This will be fine. It'll do quite well. But off-road, where you're going to take the Hero, the S22 and so on, this probably won't be the right wheel. But the big point for this wheel is it has a 120 kilogram load limit. So this can take quite a large rider. And our service manager has told us that the axles in this are actually, the axles are really thick. So that's very strong and very assuring to know that this can take a heavy set rider without any concerns. Is this wheel not for? Well, let me turn the camera around and I'll show you. It's not for city, really short commutes. It's just not designed for the really sharp, tight turns, short commutes, taking in and out of the car, multiple times throughout the day. It is a big, heavy wheel. This is not the wheel you put in the car and ride the last mile. This is the wheel you ride from home all the way to the city. For the 20 miles. It's the long range commuter wheel. Last point I'll mention is how nice this wheel is to actually sit on and ride. It's so high that you can just sit on it and you can just ride. Like, I'm not a very good seated rider, but I'm sitting up really straight. I'm 6 foot and my knees are bent comfortably, not uncomfortable whatsoever. So it's a really interesting wheel from a size point of view that you can just sit down, and it's really easy to transition as well. When I say really easy, I still slow down because it still makes me nervous, but up we go. That's more my knees than my skill. Brings us to the end of the spotlight on the Veteran Abrams. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you have, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are trying to grow this channel and reach that magical 1,000 subscriber number. We really appreciate every single new subscriber. It does make a difference to how we operate this channel. It also tells us that you are enjoying the content that we're putting out. So if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and even turn on the notification bell. That way you're alerted as soon as we update a new video. Just a side note, how good is winter in Brisbane? Whew, what a day. All right guys, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, ride, recharge, and repeat. Yo!
Oh, hold up, there's a unicycle.